What if I told you the greatest war in human history isn't written in any textbook, but buried deep inside you? Right now, within your body, are 3.16 billion base pairs of DNA. They're not just strands of genetic information, they're time capsules, whispering tales of our ancestors, carrying our inherited strengths, and hiding our darkest secrets. Because according to some chilling studies, humanity may have lived through a war so savage, so total, that its scars are still etched into our very genes. A war not recorded in scrolls or carved in stone, but encrypted in the fabric of every man alive today. And the most terrifying part? Almost no one survived. This ancient conflict didn't play out between kingdoms. It stretched across continents. It wasn't a single battle. It was global carnage. For a time, violence became humanity's common language. And what scientists have uncovered suggests that what we experienced may have been the first truly worldwide war. It all started when researchers noticed something strange hidden in our DNA, evidence of a genetic bottleneck. That means at some point a lot of people suddenly vanished. Populations shrank, diversity in the gene pool dropped. It's not the first time this happened to humans. Nature's done it before with disasters, plagues, or climate change. But this time was different, horrifyingly different. Because this bottleneck didn't affect everyone equally. Only men. Women's genetic lines, untouched. But the Y chromosome, passed from father to son, was absolutely decimated. And we're not talking about a small decline. We're talking up to 95% of the male population, gone. As if only 1 in 20 men survived. As if the world once became a place where women outnumbered men 17-1. And the likely cause? Violence. On a scale we can barely imagine. If we tried to recreate that level of bloodshed today, it would be like killing 3.9 billion men and leaving just 200 million behind. Not even both world wars combined come close to this level of devastation. So, where are the bodies? Where's the proof? Well, it's everywhere. We just didn't connect the dots until now. Across Europe alone, we've unearthed over 250 sites from the late Neolithic period that show signs of brutal, violent death. Skeletons with crushed skulls, children buried with hacked limbs, men dying with weapons still embedded in their bones. This wasn't random. It wasn't rare. It was a pattern, and it was terrifying. One study looked at over 2,300 early farmers, and more than 10% of them had signs of violent injury. In Spain, another site showed that 23% of the dead had been attacked. The victims? Mostly men. Young and adolescent males made up 97% of the unhealed wounds. This means they weren't just killed once. They were attacked again and again, surviving long enough to be hurt repeatedly. And yet, even those numbers don't fully capture the horror, because most violent deaths, especially those involving sharp weapons, don't leave marks on bones. Add disease, starvation, and abandonment into the mix, and suddenly 95% doesn't seem so impossible. Then there's the truly gruesome stuff. The Talheim death pit. Germany, 5000 BC, a fortified settlement, and a grave full of the massacred, 34 people struck down as they tried to flee. No signs of defense, no heroic last stands, just crushing blows to the skull and death from behind. 16 of them were children. The adult women were spared. Why? Because young women were trophies, captured, not killed. Then there's Schlitz, Austria. Same time, same story, but with 200 victims. Most were men. The women were gone. Many bodies were missing arms and legs. Skulls separated, possibly tortured, maybe even ritually dismembered. These weren't just attacks. They were statements. And then comes Herxheim. If you thought the others were bad, brace yourself. Herxheim wasn't a graveyard. It was a processing plant for the dead. Between 5,300 and 4,950 BC, the inhabitants of this German village dug at least 80 pits. They filled them with over 1,000 people, maybe up to 1,500. Men, women, children, elders, babies. And they didn't just kill them, they butchered them. Skulls were split, flesh was stripped, bones were crushed for marrow, heads were turned into bowls, body parts were bite-marked and cooked. Some were even spit-roasted. Researchers believe these people practiced cannibalism and skull worship. They devoured brains and removed tongues. Some remains were turned into decorations and placed on spikes at the village gates. And here's the kicker. This tiny, nightmarish community, it was likely made up of fewer than 50 people. Yet they raided, captured, killed, and devoured hundreds, maybe thousands, from places as far as 300 miles away. This was not mindless savagery. It was organized brutality. Tactics, logistics, cold strategy. And they weren't alone. All across the ancient world, similar horrors were unfolding. Warriors who collected heads, tribes that mutilated strangers, fighters who buried victims alive, armies with clubs, knives, sickles, scrapers, adzes, axes, and whatever else could be turned into a tool for pain. So what caused all this? Famine, land disputes, revenge, religion? No one truly knows. But what we do know is this. There was a time when violence was not just common, it was inescapable. And it changed humanity forever. We carry the memories of this dark age, not in books, not in stories, but in our very bones, in our DNA, a legacy of blood that echoes through time. And now we're finally starting to listen.